How's it going, guys? It's Nutshell, and today we have a bit of a special one. One of you guys actually recommended this video, and it is essentially back on streets, and we're going to be running as a scav, and primarily going to be focusing on one thing and one thing only. That is draws. Now, streets draws, you might be thinking, why the hell would you want to do that? Well, apparently the actual loot that is within the drawers on streets is just way better than what you would find with pretty much any of the other kind of maps that you can get within the game. Haven't got lucky with any keys on us, but we will take up any of the kind of random loot that we do get along the way. That is kind of what we're after, is just hitting up some really good locations and showcasing off a good run. I've practiced it a couple times and it was absolutely fine. There wasn't any real issues. Obviously you can run into PMCs, but I wanted to test out the best kind of more optimal locations to go and grab up the drawers. Either way, this is the building directly next to where you would get the car extract. Super simple to get here, and essentially what we're looking for is the keys on streets, and the streets keys actually coming out of the drawers have been broken for me. I have been getting so many keys, and I can guarantee that during this run we're not going to get any. But the whole point is that the streets keys and the kind of pool of streets keys that you can get seem to be very good. Like high value, like 50k every single time that you get a key. Within the actual drawers themselves, you're getting quite valuable stuff, whereby, you know, you might try and focus on the high value loot locations, or what you might think is by having those rare loots. But the problem is that a lot of the rare loot is actually lower price on PVE because it's primarily focused on the fact that you need the items to upgrade your hideouts and everything like that. And so that's our first key right there, or at least the second one. Bar the first one that we got off just having our scav. And then M parts worth a ton of money right now, and so you're really just focusing on all of the kind of bog standard stuff. You can see we've already got 2 keys out of there, a little rat cola on top of here, and then we'll just go and grab up this duffel bag, which pretty much always spawns over here. And so we're really focusing on those key areas which we know are going to give us kind of those best parts of loot. We'll grab the splint so we've got any heals in case we do get our leg blown off by a PMC that's kind of wandering around. But from here, what we are going to go and do is try and hit up Lexos, and then we're going to move over to try and pick up the relaxation room key, and then we go and extract. Now, because I've spawned right next to the relaxation room, we are not going to want to come all the way back just to open up the room. It's just not going to be time efficient, and when you're kind of just trying to make the money within the game, you want to be as time efficient as possible. We're going to grab up this duffel bag. Now, one thing to note when you do come over here is that you can actually find PMCs directly in front of me entering in through the gate. Now, what we'll do is kind of push directly over here. Don't go left because there's a lovely minefield, which is never good. But when you come around here, you pretty much want to be checking on top, making sure that there aren't any PMCs. That appears like a guard. And so we come straight in here. Obviously, Toz, not the best weapon at all. And we want to be hitting up these drawers right here. So we've got 2 sets in the downstairs. Really good. And so just focusing on any of those. Filament lamp, obviously very good. And you can kind of get the overall gist of what the whole run is about. But it's just trying to showcase some of the best places. And so obviously you can adapt the run, you can change how it's going to be, and I'm not going to tell you that you should focus exactly on this run, because you could spawn in completely different locations, and it really depends on where your extracts are and everything in between. So, you know, it really does vary dependent on where you are. If you're playing as a PMC, obviously this can be much safer in terms of where you're kind of going to be going and everything like that. And we'll grab up those M parts. Sounds like there could be a PMC directly outside, so we'll be a bit careful. Nope, it is just scavs, so that is fine. And then you've got another 2 sets of drawers just over here. And so what's great about Streets in particular is the fact that all of the kind of actual drawers seem to be in a very dense, compact area. So you've got a lot of drawers within one room. You're not having to run around so much as with some of the other maps. The map itself, although very big, has just tons of different spawns for various different things. You've got tons of duffel bags that also come alongside some of obviously the drawers themselves. So when you combine all of that together, it just becomes a really good combination of picking up just your general rare loot, like the books, as you can see here, and that gas store key worth, like, I believe a couple 100k, something like that, for customs. And we got ourselves a broken LCD, and obviously you can dish out and ditch different bits if you don't want to use them or what have you, and you can just drop them out if they're not worth anything. I got ourselves a green battery out of there, and obviously you can pick up the meds and stuff like that, checking on the bed. And then what we do is we just close that door, and we've got another set of drawers. A Terror Group Armory key, so another great one. We'll probably drop out the broken LCD at this point, just so we get a bit more space, and then we can kind of work through and min-max as we go through. Now, sometimes you get super lucky. You can see the amount of keys that I've managed to get in this one is pretty broken. I've got a scav pushing us in the back. I believe that we do have a drawer set in here. You've also got a stim spawn that does spawn in here as well, so be aware of that. We've got another set of drawers, or two sets actually, one either side as you go up the stairs. Unfortunately, a scav decided that he's going to go and steal some of the stuff that was in here, which is great. But hopefully there are at least a couple of keys or stuff. Obviously, if you had a pouch and you were playing as a PMC, you could drop in even more of the stuff. And then you've got another two set of drawers over here. So we can open up these ones. I won't make you suffer through. But essentially, that is kind of where I will go. And then kind of hunt around Lexos. You can also take out PMCs, which goes hand in hand with some of the things that kind of you can do with regards to taking out PMCs to get your PMC or scav rep karma up, actually. And you can like just go so fast at the minute because they do now give you actual scav karma, or at least fence reputation for actually taking out PMCs that have taken out scavs. And in Lexos there's a lot of scav and PMC fighting, so that becomes very, very easy indeed. But I'll kind of jump out of the raid. We'll kind of make our way to an extract and just loot up the rest of the kind of area. If I have any more notable drops, I'll let you know and you'll see it. Alright, so from Lexos, we've made our way across the street directly out the other entrance from where we came. And we're essentially going to go make our way over to the relaxation room, which is just out here and to the left. So fingers crossed there isn't any PMCs waiting to beam me as I come out of here. But usually as a scav you get like an increased distance between like PMCs anyway, compared to like when you play as a PMC for some reason. I don't know if that is an actual thing, but it seems like it anyway. But essentially over here just directly to our right is where we want to go, so we'll just kind of turn around and we'll make our way inside. Now the room itself and just generally relaxation room key spawn building is actually quite good just for loose loot anyway. So once again you can just come through here. You want to check all of the different spawns. I usually come straight in here, check the shelf up here and then over there, and then we'll do a little run around behind and just check up some of the duffel bags and stuff that are in here. Obviously if you did manage to get the key that actually opens up the extra room that's in here, then that's fantastic. And so you can always check that if you want to. Maybe we'll actually shoot the red flare in a little bit, just because, you know, it's easier to do it whilst we're in the raid. And then, no, I don't have the key. That's cool. So we'll open up the first room on the left here. No key. Then we check over there. No key. Cool. So checking the desk for any of the sugars and stuff like that. They can spawn. That's kind of what you want. All of the high value stuff. Nothing particularly too interesting for us here. So we'll use the rat cola and then we can drop in the bolts. Obviously you'd want to drop out the meds eventually. But usually I do that just before we're about to extract, and I'll pick up some extra bits. So obviously you want to check the computers for any of those graphics cards which may or may not spawn. Unfortunately for us, didn't get any. But yeah, checking the desk once again just for any of those sugars. Power supply. Want to check in the pig's mouth because that can have a spawn in it if the key is not actually in any of the other locations. But you can see here we've got sprats, but it does spawn in between the legs of this kind of like mannequin thing. And then inside the mouth of the skull right there is the other location. Got ourselves a quick little duffel bag to open. Nothing spectacularly interesting, so now we can make our way back down the hallway to this room, and we want to check just next to the umbrella here. That is where it can spawn, and check the desk here for if there's any moonshines which can spawn there as well. So we did get a Nixor lens just off of the table, so that's not too bad. And we'll just double check that. And then we come down to the kitchen area, and the first place we check is over there, which is where the relax key can spawn, but the actual spawn where it has spawned in this raid is underneath the pizza box. So we'll just drop out the money, grab that one up, check the duffel bag, and it's pretty much set to just leave the raid. Otherwise you're just going to spend a long time trying to min-max the actual stuff that's in your gear, and realistically it's probably best to just go in with a brand new scav or your PMC again, and then have just complete freedom with your space instead of kind of trying to mishmash together the best possible, because it's just wasting time at that point reorganizing your inventory. But essentially when we go to extract, we will have Kamachkaya at Arch, I believe, something like that. I may have butchered the name, but usually when you spawn over by the other side of the map, that's where you can get, which is literally just directly down here through this door right here. And we sometimes get a couple of duffel bags which spawn in here. There's one, and also on another bench over there is where another one can spawn. And you don't want to stand too far over to our right from where we are now, because you can end up actually going inside of the extract, and if you're doing that whilst you're trying to loot and you get something decent, not going to be a good day for you. But that is the extract. That's kind of the run that I usually do. Hopefully that was kind of useful for you. I'll go ahead and show you the loot that we did actually get in total, and then that will be the end of the video. So I've dumped everything that we did get from the raid into the bottom left hand corner of this rig. The ones above are from the two previous raids that I did do the kind of loot run for the keys as we did just then. And yeah, you can see we got pretty good stuff overall. I'll go ahead and sell what we actually got in terms of the raid ended. So you can see we would get 70,000 just from selling stuff. I'll drop that into the actual items case, and then we can have a look at the whole value of 3 raids of doing the same thing and how much we made in total over the course of those 3 raids to get a good average as to how good just opening those drawers primarily is actually going to be for you. Now then, from just 3 runs of doing exactly what we just did was this much cash, and this is excluding some of the money that we've still got selling on the flea, and of course all of the stuff that we currently have in this box, because I wanted to keep the LCDs for if there's a task or something like that. We did get them out of the actual drawers. I don't know how lucky we were getting, but it was literally like every drawer had a working LCD, which is very rare. So we'll keep those for potential new tasks or anything that comes out, as they are horrible to try and get. But with that being said, obviously we've got 1 million, 2 million, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, and then we got 8.3 million rubles off of 3 runs of streets, and that was simply just going around the map, opening up drawers and picking up any items that we find and opening up duffel bags. It was literally that simple. It was super crazy, and in fact this actually made me more money than when I actually went to the specific rare loot locations like the relaxation room, I just simply sold the key for 350k or whatever it is. And yes, the relaxation room is 100% worth opening, and if you're doing this on a PMC, I would highly recommend just taking in the relaxation room key. So if you spawn where we did at the beginning of this video, you can go and open it up. But the whole point of this video is to make it available to absolutely everyone and not just people who are very confident with playing streets. So if you aren't as confident, play it on a scav. If you are, then make sure to play on your PMC. It is just better. But even the minimal results with what we were doing, yeah, 8.5 million basically. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, and of course let me know what you would like me to do next. If you have any content ideas that you'd like me to try out, then be sure to leave those down in the comment section down below, or any specific loot runs that you might think is worth doing, and I will see you there. Goodbye.